Okay, World Cup fans, we are driving. As always, this is Chris, and over there I got Tina. And here in a minute, I'm going to tell you we've got this many days until the World Cup. So, still a lot, but we're always willing to talk about the World Cup here in Kansas City. Now, what you can't see is that we are trying, and this is actually going to become kind of important, is that we are trying to get to where the NFL draft was held here in our fair city of Kansas City. We wanted to see if we could show you the aftermath, because if you haven't seen the draft on TV, what do you think, hon?
It was big.
And? I don't know, she didn't watch the draft that much. It was really cool.
I was going to say I didn't watch it.
I mean, it would have killed her to say something nice, apparently, but that's fine.
I'm sorry, I'm trying not to wreck with all these crazy...
Okay, she's driving. That's her excuse, driving. So anyway, you did great, Kansas City. You did absolutely fantastic. And I think that's an open lane to go straight there, isn't it? Or is that, no?
Permit only turning around.
Okay. So we have no chance of actually showing you anything that Kansas City did for the draft, but look it up online. It was really cool. The thing is, we're going to talk a little bit about an article that came out, and we'll post a link to that article in the show notes. But it hasn't, the NFL draft was not 100% success for all of the businesses of Kansas City. Now, I can't say that I'm terribly surprised by this fact. Quite frankly, the statistics that come out on hosting a World Cup show that it is overall an economic drain for the host country. Usually, you know why that is, hon?
Because they spend so much building the stadiums?
Because they spend so much building stadiums. Yeah, that's a good point. And so the committee that decides where the World Cup goes has said they want to prioritize countries like the United States, which already have built-in infrastructure. Because otherwise, then countries are paying a lot of money, I believe billions of dollars American, to essentially throw a month and some party for their citizens. Now, it's a great party, but it is a costly party. But more than that, just the cost of the infrastructure, is it a economic benefit to the city that hosts the games? And quite frankly, yet I don't have the data on what bringing in the NFL draft has done to Kansas City. I have to love the fact that the nation has said Kansas City over and over and over. During those 3 days, there are NFL draft pictures that have Kansas City on them, those names. So not only were we the world champs in the Super Bowl, we got to host the draft, and that's cool. But we also want to talk a little bit about how it affected local Kansas City small businesses. Some of them, including our favorite Jaspers, got to have a tent booth at the draft, and we're going to try to talk to him and see how that went. And I'm actually going to show you as we're driving along, Tina driving like a crazy person. This, right behind those trees, is actually Liberty Memorial, or the World War I Memorial, as they called it, which was featured heavily during draft coverage. As I was saying, though, some local businesses got featured. Our barbecue got a lot of airtime because it's fantastic. But there are certain businesses that didn't do so well. Businesses that were close to downtown Kansas City. And so they're wondering what's going to happen when the World Cup shows up. Because basically, I think they kind of got bit twice. They felt like a lot of out-of-town folks didn't show up. While at the same time, a lot of folks in town that they were expecting to show up also didn't. It was across the board not a positive for them, and we feel terrible about that, especially because we don't want it to dampen our enthusiasm for. We almost died. We don't want it to dampen our city's enthusiasm for the upcoming sporting event. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about, why I don't think it's going to be the same. I really think that the World Cup, especially because of its location, isn't going, I think that's going to be completely different. They have blocked off Kansas City. And again, what you can't tell is...
You can't see that we're driving around in circles, but here in a minute...
I can see.
You can see. Here in a minute, we'll at least be able to get you a shot of probably what the stage and the area look like. But they're tearing it down right now, and so they've still got everything blocked off.
But we're gonna drive by a place that it's a blocked off street. So if I wanted to say go to Crown Center, which is this pretty fantastic old school mall right down there, we couldn't have done it really without finding a place to park and walking a long way to get there. And I'm just gonna, so down that street is where all the draft took place, and you can actually see the road is still closed.
You can see the stage over here. I think.
Okay, so there's that crane. I don't know. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. So, anyway, when the World Cup happens, the World Cup will likely be at Arrowhead, which is going to be far from here. So businesses are going to be not blocked by the stage happening. I mean, I think it's great that it happened in downtown Kansas City. Also, not surprised it was hard as heck to get there because, I mean, our downtown doesn't feature a lot of parking, and we're not a very pedestrian-friendly city. I actually think that having the event far from downtown is going to be, it's going to make things different. I also think that the NFL draft does a very good job of creating an environment that you can, a bubble basically, that you can go into and stay. So I don't know that the World Cup, especially because it's one 90-minute match, is going to create that same effect. I think there will still be a village or some things to do, but I actually am hoping that folks will come in to Kansas City. They'll have a lot longer way to go from where the hotels are in downtown Kansas City out to Arrowhead. And so I'm just thinking that, you know, it's going to be different as far as that goes, just because of the location. I don't own a small business in Kansas City. I don't actually. I mean, I'm in software for my day job, so retail not necessarily something I know a whole lot about. But I can't help but wonder if we need to do more like World Cup specials. I saw some businesses do, you know, come watch the draft here, and there's food and drink specials, and I'm wondering if we need to do more of that for Kansas City for the World Cup. I don't know. That's just a thought that I had, and I was also thinking that, you know, really, we need to consider as a city, a lot of folks are going to come in internationally. It's why we're doing a lot of what we're doing. And so I think that that's going to have an impact. Like, I think that, I hope you all heard Tina just burp. It was fantastic. You okay with that?
I feel so terrible.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was very unsightly. The whole world is embarrassed about what you were saying. Yeah. No, we don't care. So, I do think that we're going to have more of an audience that comes in. And maybe some people will fly in for the day of the game and then fly out. But I'm hoping that people come into the city, that they have an opportunity to explore more, because there may not be that same, like, you stay in the hotel, you can walk just to the event and then leave. I think the distances involved may actually make this a lot easier to have people see the city, and will have more of an economic impact. As part of this video, there was one more thing that we needed to do. Behind me is Cafe. We're going to call it Coffee because I think that's how you pronounce it. That's not how Siri pronounced it, but that's okay.
Siri was
very wrong. Anyway, this is one of the businesses that said they were affected by the NFL draft. We love our city, and we'll do what we can to support it.
So go vegan banana pudding and some
hella good coffee.
Hella good coffee.